Sachin, it is so amazing to have this conversation with you. The kind of efforts and hard work you have put in bringing the right insights, making it relevant to all the stakeholders at the same time. This podcast is relevant to policymakers, this is relevant to big corporates, relevant to aspiring entrepreneurs, young startups, even the students and then the conventional business owners. I think you structured it very beautifully, and you also made this conversation very free flow, asking me tough questions here and there. I thoroughly enjoyed, and I really must appreciate the kind of efforts you and your team has been putting in. Kudos to you. Keep up the same energy, and I look forward for more such conversations with you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay. Super. Thank you.
Right?
Great.
The kind of energy you bring to the room, right? Because if you're talking to negative people, you will carry a lot of negative energies.
Correct.
And if you're talking to positive people, not only positive and logically positive, right? Then you think there are a lot to do in your business too. Right? So it's been an amazing conversation with you. Thank you so much for your time. Today, if somebody gives time to you, that's the biggest thing that anyone can give, right? More than money.
Plus charger put together. A 3000 liter capacity generator that burns either ethanol or methanol, not diesel. Look at it, either ethanol or methanol. It pumps the energy through two CCS guns of 150 kilowatt hour each, and the energy that it can dispense is about 4 megawatt hour. That means for 12 hours, this particular generator can work without any interruption, dispensing close to 4 megawatt hour. We discussed this solution with NMDC and said, sir, you posed a challenge at us. Seems like we have a solution, but we need to have at least some anchor customers before we make the investment and acquire the company. If you know what's happening in Europe, they're going through a very typical, I would say, cycle. The cycle is this. The previous generation were all industrial entrepreneurs. They have set up industrial houses, built up good companies, but then so the word of mouth and the evangelization that there is a lot of opportunity to be there. Right now, I think that's also again, we need that pivotal point where everybody talks about money making in. See, for example, you know, Ashok Mehta's stories and then the Sony Live and all. You see, those are the points where, oh, everybody makes money in shares and let's get in. Now, mutual funds are here for the last few years. Everybody makes money in mutual funds and get into. Similarly, everybody makes the investment. Anybody can and everybody can set up a charging station. Right? So, we are already there. Some of these kind of, I would say, hurdles, if those are made easy and more financial players coming into picture. Most important thing, Sachin, is awareness. For example, we are sitting here, we are talking, you are into this industry, but it took almost 1.5 hours for me to talk about what brilliant opportunities charging infra as a industry has and what element of yours that is bringing. That's where I told you that anchor customers, B2B customers, aggregators, that's where my actual strength is. So my any charging station right now gives me an IRR of anywhere I benefit from this podcast. And the reason I'm looking at you is because this is where you can reap a lot of benefits. I'll tell you why. So these programs guarantee you on paper a minimum returns of 12%. That is, I sign an agreement with you saying that within a year, suppose you invest 10 lakh rupees and your profits are less than 1.2 lakh rupees. Say for example, you only earn 1 lakh rupee. When it comes to cargo, Magenta, Ito Motors, then probably Lightning Logistics, EV Logistics, EVZap, you name all the cargo companies, those are all my customers. So all these customers need is not only that I build charging stations for you, I make them profitable. That's where he gets more confused. How do you make my charging station profitable? Simple. More than 80% of aggregators, whether it is passenger or cargo, say for example, OHM, which is a car passenger. So as people wait for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour to charge, they can always recharge themselves. Number two, there will be points where I would be giving space to insurance companies. Because 20 minutes, you are getting a captive customer, right? You can talk about your products. Those customers can become your customers. And third most important thing is, I'm not just limiting my charging stations to only chargers. I'm now collaborating with even the battery swapping guys. Right? So there will be battery swapping stations also. Fourth and most important thing, we are taking permissions from the government, asking them to allow us to deploy unipoles, advertising poles, etc. Right? So all these charging stations are going to have advertising, I would say, hubs. So you look at it, right? And very soon we'll have children play area.
Then when you are connected with this, whatever you are learning from a lot of things, then one spark happens and then that gives.
Wow, brilliant, brilliant.
So he
Yeah,
and we had that time. Now so everything is online.
Ah.
I was always on first bench.
Oh, for his
2017,
programs, huh? Oh,
2017.
correct. Pre-COVID, he was doing.
So amazing person, and he said one thing, that whenever you are learning something, so it is not that learning. It is not something that is getting creative. You already have something in you.
Whether it is Swiggy, Zomato, or Amazon, Big Basket, most of them drive two-wheelers. The whole country is behind fast charging for four-wheelers. Two-wheelers, three-wheelers, ke baad koi bhi nahi karta. So then I thought, if and hence certain campaigns, if we were to talk about it, Thunder Plus that we are launching, we have something called Har Ghar Thunder. The point is, again, revolutionary, right? Why can't every house become an EV charging point? Why is an urge that man you need to live up to that expectation or carry that vehicle, right? So, and doing in the EV industry, the kind of policy inputs that are being given, and the actual impact that was done through Gati Logistics, I was first amazed. But then went through the, especially the boys, we are always fond of toys, and obviously automobile is one such kind of a toy. So that was when I, at probably at the age of 15, 16, I thought, no, let me build my career in the automotive.
What brought you into EV industry, and was there some experience that you had already into EV industry, or it was some other experience that you had that fetch you in this domain?
That's a good question, Sachin. In fact, you are now actually making me feel nostalgic, because to answer your question, I need to visit lot many great, I would say, memories of mine. So, but I didn't know that he was the.
This is just to see. Is it kept correctly? Just after that, next left hand side.
Left or right?
While going to Bangalore, left side. Focusing.
Left side, is it? Okay.
The Jadcherla.
Jadcherla I know, because
no, I don't know much. So Jadcherla, this.
India, Germany, and rest of the part of the country. From Bosch, I moved out to Mahindra and Mahindra. And while I was working with Mahindra, one day I get a call from Gati Logistics. Okay, logistics company. Why can't every individual? I mean, every point could be a passive income generator, because there need not be any manual intervention in terms of charging. Right? And then the third. And in 2018, there weren't any four-wheeler EVs. So it was then I was approached. Gati is a logistics firm. What has